Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. Today starts a wonderful day of making a journal. There are many ways to make journals, and I was inspired by a lady over on Designs by Shelley, and she makes beautiful heartfelt creation minis. And if you go over there, they're absolutely gorgeous. So I ran with one of her minis that I liked because it was a beginner stage, yet it was a beginner stage but beautiful. And excuse me, you can really get complex. I think that's what turns people away from doing journals, because you get your paper and you got to measure it and cut your paper and fold it over and make sure all the measurements are right. Not with this one. You're going to love this journal. You're going to be sending out journals to everybody after we complete this one. I think you're really going to like it. Now, there are quick journals that you can do, and many companies make them. For instance, there are Zutter makes journal covers, and these are wonderful, like front and back covers in here. And then you can get this one is made by Deja Vu, and it is a canvas cover with 3 holes. So you can do ribbon. There's so many things you can do with this, but it's white fabric. Cinch makes, you can tell I still make a lot of albums. And they're a quick, beautiful gift for people. There's the beautiful craft album from Michaels that has 1 hole and a ring. But if you have a bind-it-all, you can cut more holes into that. You can change it around. And then Michaels carries the light craft board, just the plain texture board. So you can go that route. We're not. But I just thought I would suggest it. Heidi Swap makes nice covers for journals that you just have to put paper over. I mean, quite easy if you're looking for easy. And this is easy that we're doing. It's just not, it's like making a homemade cake opposed to a boxed cake. There you go. We're not going to do a box cake. We're going to do a homemade cake. So let's get started. What do we need? I have laid this out, and probably easier for you to see what you're going to need to start off. I'm not going to jump way ahead with supplies. We'll take it as we do part 1, part 2, part 3. First thing you're going to need is for your chipboard, and I will show you what I used. This is what I purchased online, and it's medium weight chipboard. I can't even remember. There was a huge sale on, and I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 boxes, slabs of these. And they're sturdy, and there's just see, that's the thickness. That's what we'll be using. It's absolutely awesome, and it's chipboard, natural, medium weight, 8.5 by 11, and there is the SKU if you're interested in looking it up to see. Let's see if I can get up there and it'll focus in for you. And this is the cardboard we will be using, and then we are going to make our own leather spine. How are we going to do that, Carol? Easy. When I buy product, I buy it knowing what I'm going to do futuristically. That way I can get everything all at once. One thing I like is craft. So the craft cardstock, I think I bought over on Ellen Hudson. It's a nice 80-pound weight. And then there's this 120-pound weight. Probably more. It's probably 140. I want you to see the difference in 80 and this one. Even in color, this craft is beautiful. But you don't need this thickness for your pages because you're going to add your paper to it, right? You can use it. It'll look beautiful. But I'm going to be using the craft card. See how bendable that is? And this one, not, not so bendable, but I should have checked the weight, but I open everything up when I get it. So we're going to be using this. I've already cut it out, and this one will be for our leather spine. When we get done, our spine is going to look like genuine leather. And what you're going to need for the next video, just to keep you ahead a little bit, is for the to make leather, faux leather, you're going to need a thicker cardboard, kind of in between the two that I just showed you. If you can find a thick cardboard. What's nice is maybe your DSP cardboard, you know, that cardboard that comes with your papers. And you're going to need glycerin. And glycerin is just a topical, it says it's a skin emollient. It makes things soft and succulent. It is beautiful, beautiful. We're going to measure this 1/8 of the glycerin to water. Okay? So say it'll be this much glycerin to this much water. Lots of water, not as much. So you're going to need a spray bottle, a bottle of glycerin. I had to go to two. I finally got this at Walmart. I had to go to two places because, I don't know, they say, you know, a lot of people, I guess, with dry skin in the winter use this glycerin. And glycerin is used in craft products for tons of things, so it's good to have a bottle on hand. So we're going to use that. You can stock up on that. And I don't know if it was Debbie or Victoria, I can't remember, Virginia, who asked me, but the micro brushes. These are the micro brushes that I use. And they're the fine size. I worked in dental for years and years and years. So we used to get a lot of these products from the reps that came in. And look at that. I'm still using them today in crafts, even though I'm retired. We are going to need, let's move on because we're going to need a cutter. Here's the cutter for my chipboard. You're going to need a good cutter for chipboard because it's thick. And I absolutely love this Fiskars cutter. I did a review on it. It opens up. It's 14 inches long and it is probably that wide. What I like about this cutter, it's self-sharpening. Never have to buy a blade. Awesome. And it cuts through this cardboard, this like butter. Just slides down. And it locks. It has like, it won't do anything unless it's in this position. It has a lock on it so you can't move the, so you can't move anything. This won't move, so, or cut, so it's awesome. And it folds down. So this is the cutter I use for my chipboard. And I just saw something I wrote down. I want to make sure. You want a smaller cutter, and I use the Stampin' Up! One because it has a score blade and a cutting blade, and it's handy dandy to have right here to grab to cut quickly, which I will put right next to us. And then you're going to need scoreboards. I measured out in 1/8. Now, I'm trying to, 1, 2, 3, yeah. The Stampin' Up! One gets measured out per inch in 1/8, which is what I did. Okay, so that is good to have if you're going to do this one. Otherwise, you can break it down any other way. This is broken up into 10. Let me see, I think this is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1/8 too, so this is awesome. I like to have the small one handy for the little embellishment things you're going to use. This for cutting the scoring the large pieces, and this for the small. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is in 1/8 as well. Some are in 1/16 and some are in 10ths. So it all depends, you know. But these are awesome. So either one of them will work. Now, the paper line I switched altogether. I was going to do Tim Holtz. I was going to do the Clockworks and make it a masculine album. Changed my mind last night. and I went right over to Heartfelt Creations, because if you're making an album, there you're going to need 12 by 12 papers to make this one anyway, and because it's measured past 6 by 6. If you want to do a easy card where you use up your 6 by 6 pads, go with those measurements, but we're not. We're doing 6.5 by 8.5. So this paper is, it's just perfect. All the colors are gorgeous. I was up till about 3 in the morning cutting out all of my little embellishments, which I'll show you that later. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, everything you need is in one of these paper packs, so you're going to need that. I chose to do mine in craft cardstock, so I'm going to need this, but not today. So if you're going to use craft cardstock, you have your supply of that out. This is the one I got at Ellen Hudson. So you're going to need plenty of that, and I chose to use black. I'm going to have 3 layers on my paper. The paper, the craft, and the black. And I use Stampin' Up! Black. And then, excuse me, because I'm going craft, I can use any of my craft elements. This is from Stampin' Up! And it's gorgeous. It's already been embossed. Look at that one. I'll probably use this one here. It's beautiful. And then you can go, this Craft Resist by Tim Holtz is awesome craft paper. So you can jump into either line. You're going to need Tyvek. Now Tyvek is a little mystery to people. What Tyvek is, it's what you send parcels in the mail or bags in the mail. They look like this size. That's what I bought them in this size. It's Tyvek, and this one isn't, but I bought a case of them. And do you think I can find my case? I think it's in my closet, and I wasn't going in there, but here's what Tyvek looks like. You have a shiny side and a non-shiny side, and you cannot rip this. You just can't rip it, and that's why they use it for postal things. And or you can use what comes in the mail, your the envelopes here. You can use this as well and cut it, because this does not rip, and it's going to secure your binding. So I chose to go with the Tyvek. Any stationery store will sell Tyvek. You just ask for it, and that's where I got mine. Or else find one of your envelopes that came, and you're going to cut it down to 1.5 by 8 inches. Okay, there it is there, 1.5 by 8 inches. I think on my Tyvek I cut it a little bit more. I'll show you when we get there. So you're going to need Tyvek, and that's about it. We are going to get started. Can you believe it? So we've picked out our 12 by 12 paper pack. You're going to need 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. I chose 3. I chose my Suquang 1 inch. Okay. Then I have the 1/2 inch. This will save you from your 1/4 inch. And then if you miss some spots because you're a tag crooked or something, you need not worry, because it comes in 1/16 as well. So I basically these 3. My 1/2 inch is the one I used most. So you're going to need double-sided tape. You can't. I don't like liquid glue and to use on my albums, but I do like score tape. And then if you look for scrapping gear at Walmart, this is the 8-inch size. I took out 3 of them, and it comes in 1/2 inch. That's the one I showed you, and they're $2 a piece. So, and that's for 66 feet. So that's awesome. Okay, and we'll go over embellishments after. We don't need to know that. Let's get started. Embossing folder, you can use that later. We covered the scoreboard. You're going to need a good bone folder, and I use the Teflon. People have asked me about this one. I like the Teflon bone folder for many reasons. One, it doesn't leave a shine, and two, it's awesome. That's all I can say about this. Another bone folder that's nice, I was just looking, came with Stampin' Up! Years ago, and I have it around here. I'll run into it. It spreads. I use it for my mixed media pastes. Anyway, this is the one I'm using, my Teflon one. And then we can get started. I've got bone folder. Now, let's set that aside. We're going to start our album. Let's see. We're going to need, for the cardboard stage of your book, right here, you're going to need 2, and this is that thick stuff, medium weight, and I chose to do it in craft. You're going to need 2 pieces cut to 8.5 by 6.5. Okay, 8.5 by 6.5. So we can get rid of this one, and we'll set this down. This is your cover. And what I like about this journal, which is so simplistic, let me reword that. There's very little measuring with this one other than your paper and your embellishments. So you're going to need that. You're going to need a spine, and the spine was measured at, well, obviously it's 8.5. I just want to make sure this is exact. Yes, 8.5. 6.5 by 8.5. So it's 8.5, and the top of this is 3.5 inches. It's 3.5 inches across. I want to make sure you get the right measurements. And that's pretty good. And you don't have to worry about if it's dead on, but you want to get it, And then you want to watch which side you cut, okay? Now, this one is good this way, because I put the cut sides on the inside. Like this one I'll butt up to here, and this one, you know what? You can't even tell, because that cutter by Fiskars with the blade that is self-sharpening, you can't tell. It leaves no jagged edges. But if you're not using a really sharp cutter and you have to go over it and over and over it, put those pieces towards the center. Okay, so we're going to get started here. You're going to need 1 piece here that's the exact size, but in your craft paper. This is your flexible craft paper. You're going to need 1 cardboard and 1 to cover this, like that, in your craft paper. And then you're going to turn it over and see what I did. Cover it all. Whether you use 1/4 inch, 16 inch, working in 1/2 inch is nice, but I put down inch, and then just, you can see I covered it with little pieces. So you're going to need a piece in your cardstock to cover your binding here. And we are going to make the leather binding for later, but that's in another video, okay? So then, after this, you are going to need to cut your Tyvek or your mailing plastic pieces. You can use material as well. You can cut material. You just need something to secure this, because this book is going to be opening and closing a lot when you give it away. So you're going to need 2 pieces, and these are measured at, let's see what I did. I did 8 inches by 2 inches. 8 inches, 2 inches by 8 inches long, and then I put, it's 2 inches, right? So I just put 2 strips of 1 inch double-sided tape on the back of both. And we're going to be ready to go. I told you I'd be prepared. I went out for dinner. Yesterday was my mom's birthday, and the 4 girls, we all went out for dinner last night. And by the time I got home, and I wanted to get most of everything I wanted to show you ready. So I did all of the gluing or taping down. So then what you're going to need, let's get all of this. So this, let me just see here. I want to make sure I have this, and I don't know why this is measured 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. Just a second. Let me see what this is. 1, 2, 3. Let's not get confused here. Let's just go with this. I don't know what that's for right there, so we'll leave it. Now, so we have our binding in the center, the 2 book ends. Let's do that first, and let's get our Tyvek and our hinges. Now your hinges are 2 inches by 8 and 1/8. Okay, so 4 hinges, 2 inches across by 8 and 1/8 long, 4 of them. And you're going to cover the centers with double-sided tape. And I just did, these aren't the hinges, just a second, 4 of these. Make sure you get the right ones here. And the reason you have 4 of them is because you're going to have 8 pages. And each one of these flaps, you're going to put a page on. It's absolutely awesome. So you're going to cover just the middle of your flaps that measure 8 and 1/8 in length and 2 inches across. And then use your double-sided tape down the center and have those ready. Okay, so we have that. Then you're going to need 2 pieces here. Maybe this was, oh, I'm sorry, I better give you the scoring. You're going to score these. You're going to need those measurements. So you have the 2 inches by 8 and 1/8. Then you're going to take your scoreboard. I'll use marker scale because it is light. And I'll show you how we did this. Excuse me. And I used this is too pointy and you don't want to cut into your paper. So I just grabbed my stylus out of the Stampin' Up! One, put it up against here, and this is in 8ths. Okay, so we're going to score at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Then you're going to run it down and score it at 5/8. This is on your 2 inches. And then you're going to come across and you're going to do 1 1/4. So it's going to be scored. Well, what I did here is I flipped it. And I did 5/8 on this side. Like that. So just take your 4 hinges and score them at 5/8, and then flip it and score the other side at 5/8, and it will be the perfect width. Now when you score it like this is just another tip. When you score like this and you're going to fold it, the first time you fold the opposite way like this. That way you don't cut your paper like that. Okay? So really, I should have put the tape on this side. This one here. See how you get those little edges? But you're not going to see it, so it's fine. But in reality, you go the opposite way to where you put your style. Where you pushed in, pull it the opposite way, if you understand that. And you're going to do that with all 4 of these. Then you're going to need 2 of these that measure 2 inches by 8 1/8, scored down the middle at 1 inch. And the back of these 2 are going to be totally covered with your double-sided tape. I'm trying to make this really easy for both of us. So let's get started. Let me put things away, and I'm hoping part 1 we will get this up and running so we can get into the decorating part, which is awesome. So you're going to pick out your 12 by 12 papers, right? And let's get my everything straight. It's so cute. Debbie emailed me and said, hey, what was that tin thing doing up when I did my last video? I love when people do that, Deb, because that shows you're watching it. You're not sleeping through my videos. That was for something else and I didn't get to it. Can't remember what else you asked me. I had, oh, it was for my gold rub and buff. I love that stuff in the tube. You get that at Michael's. Okay, so we're going to set this together. We're going to butt it up together. Make sure that this is, I have the light shining right on me. on my face there. So let's move this up. So you have this one, but right together like this. And you're going to grab your Tyvek or your mailing envelope piece. And we covered that like that, and you can see I've covered it with just about everything. All pieces, parts. When you're working at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, you just want it on there. You could run, let me jump in, you can run this through your, you know, that thing that makes the sticky on one side, that machine. Can't remember what it's called. I have one over there. But you could do that as well. Okay, so when you do certain albums, excuse me, when you do certain journals, albums, we're going to call it an album, and you're told to bring it out like this, a 1/16 of an inch on each side for the bending. But that's if you're going, that is only if we're going to put a sheet of paper going all the way across, where you're going to need that fold of the paper. We don't need that. That's why we're butting it right up, because the paper is going to sit on each panel separately. That's what's awesome about this. When I saw Shelley do this, it was just an eye-opener. It's wonderful. So get it down, and this is sticky, and you want to kind of work it in the center. I'm going to start it up there because you want it happy. So there we go. This is the safest way, because I'm telling you, once this is down, as you can tell, it's down. Hold it, and there you have it. One is already done. And this Tyvek, you won't be able to break this journal. And when people are fighting over it and they're pulling on it to have it because they want it. No, I want it. It's awesome. They won't break it. Yeah, you won't be stuck with, you know, 2 pieces. I gotta move this out of the way. That'll drive me crazy. Another awesome tip for you: keep your garbage can right by you, because when we get into decorating, you're going to be cutting like crazy. Okay, so let's move this down, and we are going to work on this one. And I'm super duper ready. Can you imagine if I had to put all of this on and you were watching me put the tape on? See? I'm thinking about you. I'm not going to torture you. No. Okay, watch so that it is pretty even on here. Take your Tyvek and just eyeball it right there. Okay. This is what's nice about having 2 hands. Ugh. Butt that right up. And there you have it. And look at that. Da, da, da. There you go. Okay. Look at this. And then that leather, which we don't have to worry about here. Why does it seem dark? I have every light on. I have my window open, and yet it seems dark. I don't know. Anyway, look at, we have our journal cover already made, and we're going to go, it brought us right perfectly down to needing these 2. We are going to go over this with these pieces, okay, to secure them. See you on part 2. I'll just keep working. Let me see, that's that one and this one. 2 inches scored in the middle at 1 inch by 8 1/8. And we are going to put these on top of the Tyvek. I will have that done on the next video. I'm going to go upload this so we can just carry on with this journal. Isn't it easy? Easy peasy.